Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Joseph. I hope everyone's doing well today. So, what am I going to be tackling today, guys? Multi-level arrays. Who likes multi-level arrays? No one. But before I get into it, a huge thank you to everyone on the channel. You guys are great. This tutorial should be pretty, I'm hoping, straightforward, but it does take a bit of lateral thinking. Let's get into it. So, what have I built? Personal nightmare of mine. So, these are chests. And when we click on the chest, you can see we generate loot. And the loot is random. So normally you'd do this by just going into a random number generator. The way I've achieved this though is slightly different. So I'm using what we call a multi-level array. Super useful. So what a multi-level array is normally we have an array. So if I scroll over this way and we'll make it a bit bigger for you. Oh, too big. About there. So what we normally have, so if I'm generating a normal array, and I'll just quickly do this. So if I had an array, this is normally the way it would look. An array is a bucket of information that we draw values in and out of. What we can do though is we can create multi-level arrays, which look like this, or even more multi-level arrays. Apparently this works in Gamemaker. I haven't tested it, but apparently this works. But basically with a multi-level array, what we can kind of start doing is shuffling things into specific buckets. So imagine it as a bucket, and then I can segregate the bucket. So as the example here, if I had 4 A's, A, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So what I can do in a multi-level array is it looks kind of like this. So you can see here A0 entry 0 only has one amount. A1 entry 0 and A1 entry 1 have 2 entries. A2 is the same and A3 is back to the same as what 1 is. So the whole point of this, the reason this is so powerful is I can do something like this and generate a loot table using those multi-level arrays. And the way this works is, for example, I've got my subarray number, so that's my secondary number here, which dictates what entry in the array it is. And then my loot number array, which is my selector, that's my big number in the sense of this is array 1, array 2, and then my sub-selector is sub-entry in array 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. So what I can do here, so in my potions, you can see I've got 4 different potions. So I've got a health potion, a greater health potion, a mana potion, and a greater mana potion. And then in here, I have a bunch of stats selected to it. For example, I set the sprite in here, and I also set other values like its ID returns and its name. So super useful. We can have more of these entries if we want. We can go into much more greater detail, but I've just done some very simple statistics here, or values. So the next one I have is a couple of swords. So for example, I've got a long and short sword. Ooh. I found an error in my code. Nope, that's fine. So these are the short swords, same principle, and the shields are the same. The next part is the way I random the number. So the way I have to random it is a bit different. So this is where multi-level arrays can be a bit of a pain in the ass. So my multi-level array, I need to work out my array height in 2 dimensions or more. So that's just a matter of calling a value I know is constant. So I know the code, item code, is a constant. So I just use that to work out all the arrays in one go. From there, I can randomize a entry, and I have to take 1. This will always return 1 through X. It won't return 0 through X. And the reason that's important is arrays always start the read as a 0 and not as a 1. So you have to account for that when doing these calculations as a warning. The next step is I find my length. So the way this works is the first step, it finds which of these 3 I want to use. And then it calculates the next step, which is the length within each of these. So the lengths are 3 or 4, 2, 2. So it wants to work out the length in there so that I can randomize the number between there. And you can see I do take 1 off of each of my values. I did try embedding it the other way, didn't like it. I don't know why, couldn't be bothered to fix. So let's just take a quick look at how hard it might be to add an entry. So if I do this, and you'll see I've got it set up in a very specific way. I'm going to call this my fake greatsword or something like that, and we're going to give it an attack of 0 and a defense of 0. So that will add a new entry into my array set for my swords. And what you'll see here, so what's really important to note with how this is all configured, is these here only will appear at each new entry to allow me to reselect. And then in the subcategory, it always refers back to 0 and then adds up until it resets again. Important, if you don't, you'll get weird things going on in your arrays. Okay, next step to this. Let's look at the create function. So this isn't anything ultra fancy. It looks long and complicated, but it's really not. So all this does is it does my standard looking for a click, make sure I'm clicking on the object, creates a temporary ID, inserts the object item ID into there, and we just populate by using handover code each of the randomized values we've selected here over to select the item. So basically it selects its code, its name, its attack, its defense, and its sprite. So if I go over here, you'll see that in my create function, it's literally just grabbing those values, and it's doing some very simple pass over, just applying some information into the object. So, oh, and actually I should mention that. So in here, events, I do select and set up just so we can view that as well. And it's just working off a distance value. Okay. The room master is literally just a reset of the room. It's nothing fancy. So let's see if my fake sword has worked. Hopefully. Not a sword, not a sword, not a sword. It's a great sword, not a fake great sword. Nope, nope, nope. Let's try again. Great sword. Nope, nope. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, I'm really not lucky. Great sword. Nope, nope, nope. And it is random. It is completely random. So, there you go. Fake greatsword. How's that? So you can see that it's pretty straightforward and easy to add entries into it. The purpose of this is to explain to you guys how multi-level arrays work. Super useful. You can use it for a lot of different kinds of information. And it does make your life easier once you wrap your head around the logic. The logic's a bit hard to do it. Think of it as a bucket with compartments. And then you can select out of those compartments, and they're infinitely sized. When I say that, I think maxes out at 32,000 entries. This will be up on the Google Drive, so you guys can grab it. Let me know what you guys think, and I shall chat to you guys next time. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.